Do you remember this a year ago?
First in California and 7th in the country.
Well, not anymore.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna make some pancakes, or at least pour it. Josh, hold the microphone and tell the people what I'm doing, will you?
What would you say to someone who was in your position 8 months ago, kind of on the fence about coming here? Now, do you know Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen? What about Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen?
Woohoo, guys, look, I did it!
And if you're looking for an in-your-face piece of entertainment, look no further than the Fox Theater.
Behind the Fox Theater, it smells like pancakes and sounds like community.
A little haze left on the horizon. However, the sun is up and shining. Let's get a check of the currents across our Golden State. So 59 degrees for the entire Central Valley right now. But take a look down south. 80 degrees already for Palm Springs, and it's not even midday. Close to it for Los Angeles. These are how the temperatures have changed in the past 24 hours. Looks like basically everyone getting a bit warmer, except for you, Buttonwillow. 3 degrees cooler out there. Pet overpopulation, full shelters, and now a deadly illness spreading throughout canines in the United States. I'm Ava Kershner, your neighborhood reporter. Now, local rescue groups that pull from the shelters and save dogs off the street have to slow their pace, even if it means turning some dogs away to save the ones already in their custody.
They were found in the road in that jacket right there, right over there.
3 puppies found in the middle of the road. Luckily, a local dog rescue group was nearby sponsoring a spay and neuter clinic. However, due to a lack of space, they couldn't take them and had to call in assistance from another rescue group 2 hours away.
With the 3-week quarantine process, you lose a lot of time and you're not going to be able to save as many animals as you usually are. So it's a little disheartening, but they need us more now than they ever did.
Some of the rescues are comparing this to the COVID-19 pandemic, with social distancing and boosting vaccines, but this time for our dogs.
Has your pet had any cold-like symptoms, kind of like the human COVID outbreak? So we're kind of comparing it to that. We didn't stop going to the doctor during COVID. Pets shouldn't stop going to the vet during this type of outbreak.
Symptoms of eye and nasal discharge, coughing, and vomiting are all associated with this spreading illness. And any dog that has even one of them will have their process of rescue or adoption slowed down.
Some of the big ways that it will impact us and probably other rescues around town is we're going to be very careful, if not stop taking in any new dogs for the time being. Because I know for myself, with limited facilities, I don't have the ability to sufficiently quarantine an animal.
But what they can quarantine, they will.
How many dogs can you hold in that location for quarantine?
I can hold 3, so I'm probably getting 3 today. And that's a start, and once they get better, I'll put 3 more in there.
Now, extra dog food, blankets, raised beds, and fostering can all help the shelters and rescue groups through this crisis. If you have the means to help, head to this story on our website, trended23.com. For 23 ABC News, I'm Ava Kershner, your neighborhood reporter. I'm Ava Kershner, and as your Bakersfield neighborhood reporter, I have to tell you, the majority of these dresses I wear on TV are thrifted, including this one, and this one. However, when it comes to scouring the local thrift shops, one local resident has me beat. She even started her own business based on finding vintage items. And yes, vintage includes the 90s.
This one.
Oh my goodness.
And then I also found this one.
Those are gorgeous.
That's Ashley Bobadilla showing me a vintage Jean-Paul Gaultier and a Vivienne tam top valued at $400 to $500 that she scored for only a few, which makes her feel...
Oh my gosh, I love it. Like, finding those things actually gives me the biggest rush of like serotonin, dopamine. I don't know, it's so amazing.
Bobadilla, born and raised in Bakersfield, turned her thrifting into collecting and collecting into selling, recruiting fellow small business collectors like Michelle Pineda to join her.
So my mom, she was an immigrant and we were really poor growing up, so thrifting was like our only way to like buy outfits and things. So I've been thrifting since I can walk, really. This is my mom. She's the whole reason behind Mitch Thrifts. She's the one that started it all.
At the flea market that Bobadilla organizes, you can find pieces from multiple decades and even some valuables.
T-shirts. Men's t-shirts specifically are the most valuable pieces of vintage that you can really like find. In the 90s and before, they would stitch things once. Like now they do 2 stitches at the bottom of your hem, but they used to only do one stitch, so that's how you know if something's vintage.
Whether it's looking to find a retro gem or just trying out a unique style, many who come to the Kern Vintage Flea have just as much passion as those who sell.
So you kind of turned this necessity of thrifting into something so much bigger. Yeah, so I found a lot of joy in thrifting, like finding awesome things, really unique things that sometimes maybe I couldn't style it myself, so I was like, other people would do an awesome job styling it.
Bobadilla tells 23 ABC that one of her goals with organizing this event is to shift the narrative around thrift.
And I think that's like the coolest thing about our generation is that we're so open-minded to it. I think that a lot of the times it has like a negative connotation where people think it's dirty, used, whatever, you know, but realistically, we're wasting so much clothing having that mindset.
If you want to come out to the Kern Vintage Flea Market, it happens every third Sunday of the month right here at 1601 21st Street next to Dagny's Coffee Company.